Chef? Our opening words come from a collection by Cynthia Rylant titled, "God Went to Beauty School." This is a pretty funny book. Just for example, God went to beauty school. He went there to learn how to give a good perm and ended up just crazy about nails, so he opened up his own shop, Nails by Jim, he called it. God bought a couch. He ordered it from Potpourri Barn, and he had a little trouble because his credit card billing address didn't match the delivery address. God got a dog. He never meant to. He liked dogs. He'd liked them ever since he was a kid, but he didn't think he had time for a dog now. Our opening words are, God got cable. And for a week, watched nothing but. Didn't see the comet, didn't see the hurricane, missed that baby being born entirely. Just watched cable. Funny thing is, he liked it. He knew he wasn't supposed to. All those girls crying about their boyfriends, all those track meets, all that soap and toothpaste. He liked it, couldn't help it. Then Gabriel came over with a deck of cards, and next thing you know, they've played poker 4 weeks straight. Gabriel's beard nearly as long as God's, and corn chips all over the place. And what God decided was that he liked not cable, but poker. Excuse me, I need to reread that. And what God decided was that he liked not cable, not poker, but a break. Every now and then, even God needs a break. and so do we. Please join in singing my favorite hymn, The Sweet June Days. It's number 65. Join in the words of our unison affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So be it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Flower Communion Sunday at First Parish in Bedford. We're so glad that you are here. I love the light streaming in and the light on the flowers in the windows. It's just so rich to be together with all of you. What a gorgeous day, and it was also a gorgeous day yesterday when the youth of this church put on The Little Mermaid and everyone had so much fun. Janet Welby, who directed the whole thing, is really quite amazing, and we thank her so much for all the love, all the talent, all the time that she put in to make that show such a success. Also, thank you to all the volunteers, the musicians, music director Brad Connor, everyone who made that such a wonderful joy. And you can see the cast still. They are up on the back wall. The pictures of them and their write-ups are up on the back wall. So do have a look at that. So we say again, as we say each week, welcome if you've been here 100 times or if this is your first visit. Welcome to people of all religious or political persuasions, to people of all colors, cultures, and class backgrounds. Welcome to people of all sexual orientations and gender identity, to old and young, to lifelong questioners, and to people who have faith in our liberal religious tradition that values radical welcome, kindness, justice, and peace. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and this means we need not think alike to love alike. Here we honor each and enrich all. But if this is your first time visiting this morning, there is something to tell you. This is our concluding service of this year, and we do take a break with our regular services for a while in the summer. The church is always open on a Sunday, and what would happen is if you come next week, you can go into the air-conditioned common room and swap vegetables, bring the Sunday paper, commune, and be with people, which is really what church is all about. And that is church for us sometimes, just going slow and being together. Then there are lay-led services in August, which are great, so do try to come to those if you can. In September, we start up again, as does our bus service, the Sunday after Labor Day. But if you come next week, just head on in there. Other ways to stay in touch. If you want to hear about church events or get our newsletter, you can fill out a little blue card in your pew, and we want to make sure that you leave this place not as a stranger, but as a friend. Following the service, come on in to the common room and have some tea, talk with a new person, stop by the welcome table to find out a little more about us and tell us about you. And you can also stick around for our annual meeting. This is a great way to find out about all that's been going on. And if you're a member, you get to vote. That's really fun. And if you're looking to fill your tummy because you're hungry, don't want to think about being hungry during an annual meeting, there is some pizza for $1 a slice that you can buy during coffee hour. We don't want any hungry monsters. Next Saturday is Gay Pride, and a lot of us are heading into Boston together. Arlington Street Church in Boston hosts a pre-Pride service. This year it's at 10 a.m., a little earlier. The theme of Pride this year is Be Yourself, Change the World. And our congregation will march and carry our banner and celebrate diversity with the whole city of Boston. We will proudly bring the spirit of this church, which is love, out into the world. Talk to Craig Jackson for more information, and look for these little stickers. You too can get one just for you. And we have a pride cake at coffee hour on behalf of our welcoming congregation. So have a taste of that. And now, Sandy Bozanowski, our volunteer coordinator, will share a few words. But first, I'd like to thank her for all that she has done this year. Sandy, we are so grateful for you. As you know, Sandy organizes so many things, all the coffee makers, all the ushers. She goes in search of all of you to find a person to do something that's important, and she plans events, and she shows up over and over to make sure that stuff is done right. And it's an honor to work with you. I really like you as a person. It's really fun to work with you. And thank you for all you do.
I just feel as if this church year has flown by, and I'm really thankful for a moment to express my appreciation of all of you, everyone who's made this church, this parish, this community, a very blessed place that I love being a part of. And it's truly been another amazing year. This past week, I was here most of the week with the kids and the adults to put on the fabulous production of Little Mermaid. And that just captured for me what a small aspect that is of so much of what we do here. And I could try to enumerate the specific things. Last year I tried that, and of course I left people, events, things out, because it takes hundreds of hours, probably thousands of hours of volunteer effort to make this community what it is. So I'd love to individually point out all the events, but I'm going to leave something out. So I'm just going to play cheerleader for a moment. So, I've never done this before, but give me a V. V is for the vigor you bring. O, give me an O, is for the opportunity to get to know you. L is for the life you share. U is for the understanding in your smile. N is for the need we have for your ability here. And T is for the time that you don't have, but you give anyway. And E is for the excitement that you bring. And E again is for everybody that thinks that you're fabulous, especially me. And R is for the reminder to come back and do it again in the fall. Every year I try to think of something to thank you with a symbol that relates to First Parish. And I hope you remember that I'm sweet on all of you, and the spirit of this community is what makes First Parish soar. So coffee hour, yet another sweet thing, but look for something sweet that flies. And thank you again and again for your time and your talent and your treasures.
We sometimes call this service a service of the living tradition, and it is an occasion for us to stop and take note of many things that fly by and need notice. And among those are births and deaths and transitions of various sorts. And this year we dedicated one child, and that child was Aidan David Barabash, the son of Lauren and Aaron. But I would also ask you to simply call out the names of any others in your life who were born in this last year. Call them out. I'll also call the names of new members of this church in this last year. Mary Cady, Merlin Swartz, Hilda Swartz, Ian Carroll, Peggy Dusenberry, Carolyn Eckel, Daniel Johnson Carter, Turner Netherton, Robert McClatchy, Renee Nichols, Jean Fahey, Brian Fahey, Alan Morgan, Marcia Morgan, Jeffrey Dreyfus, Jennifer Kelly, Brett Lyda, Susan Ebbs, Don Hunt, and Loretta Silva. And I'm going to ask you now as well to stand as I read the names of those members who have died in this last year. We remember Eleanor Mers, Rosalind Kingsbury, Elizabeth Patchell, David Connect, Charles Burt Cole, Nancy Peters, and I ask you as well to call out the names of yours who have died. We recall all of these, and they are now a part of us. Be seated, please. I want to take note as well of those who have graduated from high school, and at least one of them is here present. Even though, as I said that, she was yawning widely. And that would be Lindsay Courier. Lindsay, we have a gift for you. If you would come up, we have a copy of our Minister Emeritus Jack Mendelssohn's book, Being Liberal in an Illiberal Age. Congratulations. get some sleep. I think Daniel Johnson Carter is off on a Boy Scout event. We will give him these things as well. And I'm not sure about the others. Trevor McIntyre, Ben Sar Regan, and Adam Silbert. Congratulations to all of them. And taking note of one more transition, Lisa Rubin.
So we have a very special transition this year, and that is that our beloved coming of age facilitator and mentor and queen, Sarah Dorr, is retiring from her position since 1998 of helping our coming-of-agers as they find their beliefs, develop their beliefs, and create their creeds for their draft creeds as they move on into life. Sarah, could you come up for a moment? She hates this. She hates this. We'll keep it as short as we can. So, first of all, so where did it go? Oh, so first of all, every year Sarah gives the youth a flaming chalice pendant to wear on their coming of age necklace. So we have given you a special one and a gift from many of your friends here at First Parish. And, wait, this is really cool. Hold on. This was a real group effort, but the final kudos go to Luann and Ted and a number of others that Luann can share with you. Wait, do you see this? These are the covers of all of the coming of age services that Sarah mentored through the years. And it says, coming of age at First Parish in Bedford, and it is for you to take home and hang up so that you know that we will always remember and thank you.
So this is really, truly a surprise. And I want to thank all of you, and really and truly it's been an honor over the years to watch these young people grow up, and I turn coming of age over to wonderful hands, Luann Livesay and others, who will carry on the wonderful tradition. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll have to find another thing to do.
Letters and notes from people here and people who have been part of your program through the years. And this book is going to be in the coffee hour with more paper and pens for people to write more notes, and it's for you to take home and treasure from all of us.
When we give big framed things and you wonder where you're going to put those things in the house, I'm reminded of somebody who said, you know, I really wish they gave away refrigerator magnets instead. We're going to welcome a number of children, and I'm going to ask that those children and their families come and stand in a row across the front, please. So this is a ceremony of child dedication, and it is something that is observed in every culture by every religion by differing names around the world. And near as I can tell, there are three particular meanings to this ceremony. And the first one is that we just don't let the birth of kids go by unnoticed. Now, for some of you, we've let it go by unnoticed for a number of years. Juliana, I think you're about to celebrate your 21st birthday. Sophie, Ben, Cole, yes, Tim, and Cole. And, you know, we finally get around to it. Because when children are born, this is a miracle, and this is an amazing moment. And we say, ah. So now, you're going to say ah. 1, 2, 3. Ah. That's for you. And the second meaning of this ceremony is that you are born not just to these old folks behind you and parents and grandparents and your immediate family, but you are born and you are a part of all of us. There are invisible bonds of connection. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to be a family and support a family. And so we recognize the connections with all of you. And the third meaning is sort of related to the second, and that is that these adults who take care of you are not to be trusted. In fact, this is a public moment. You are being brought out here in public because we all are not to be trusted. No one of us is to be trusted, but we need to be together in order to develop loyalty and reciprocity and community. So this is a turning over of your private life to a public life and a public purpose. And these are the words we say. These children come here with stardust in their hair, with the rush of planets in their blood, their hearts beating out the seasons of eternity, with a shining in their eyes like sunlight. These parents have brought them here to be dedicated, to celebrate the joy they have that these children are part of their families and to count themselves blessed. In this church, they will learn to count the number of their days and to weigh their meaning, to gather into their minds the wisdom of their ancestors, to know why we call one thing right and another thing wrong, to treasure beauty, mercy, and justice in the deep places of their being. And so I ask this question of you, the parents. Will you help them to realize the best that is in them? Will you seek to the best of your ability to instruct them by your teaching and by your example? And will you love them with an unselfish love? And if you do, would you please say, we do? We do. Good. So, let's see. We dedicate each of you to the service of goodness, beauty, and truth. Megan will touch each of you with this water. This water is from the water we gathered at In-Gathering Sunday from hoses and glaciers and lakes and oceans far and near. Water, a symbol of purity, and you will be touched by your brow, by your eyes, by your lips, and by your hands, that your thoughts, your vision, your speech, and your actions may be dedicated to the service of humankind. And you will also, by Laura, be given a rose, a symbol of your unfolding life. So why don't you begin that, and I'm going to ask families about their particular names. Go ahead. The water is well boiled, Megan wants me to tell you. There are a couple of seashells in that bowl, and there is some remnants of some streamers that were shot on In-Gathering Sunday, but I assure you it is sterile. So, Ben and Christine, tell me the names of your sons.
This is Nicholas Michael Bennett, known as Cole by his first middle syllable. Chris, do you want to talk?
Timothy Orlean Jasensky Bennett.
So, Nicholas comes from a Greek origin meaning victory of the people. And Michael comes from Hebrew sources meaning he who is like God. Don't let that go to your head. And Bennett is a pet form of Benedict, meaning blessed. And Timothy is Greek for one who honors God, and Orlean beats me. Jasensky beats me. And again, Bennett. Tell me the name of your daughter.
Juliana Seaton Knox.
Juliana What does Juliana mean?
It's from the Latin meaning youthful.
That's what I can't read on this piece of paper. That's right. And Seaton is also an old family name. And Knox is a name that means someone from Knock Hill in Renfrewshire.
Sophie Rose Lance.
Sophie is Greek meaning wisdom. What do you suppose rose means? And in that window there is a picture that even shows the rose bush for whom you were in part named. And Lance is a pet form of Lancelot. Now, when I give these etymologies of names, you know, it's all kind of interesting and it's all kind of humorous, but it very much reminds me of one of my favorite jokes, and that is, why does the Queen not wave with this hand? Do you know why the Queen does not wave with this hand? Because this is my hand. You can say all kinds of things about your names, but the very most important thing about your name is that it is your name. We honor your names. We honor you. We rejoice that you are you, and we welcome you in love. Jeez, I'm just not paying attention here.
Jacob Thomas Neal.
Jacob Thomas Neal, not to be forgotten ever. Jacob from Hebrew means protected. And Thomas, like your father, is from Aramaic and Hebrew meaning twin. And Neal is English meaning a descendant of Nigel. Jacob Thomas Neal. Your name is your name. We recognize and welcome you in love and rejoice that you are you. Now, we're not done yet. We're still not done yet. We whose task as a congregation is to strengthen and assist one another in every good thing are called upon to pledge ourselves to be faithful and zealous in the care and nurture of these children. And so now it is for all of us to state our high purpose and resolution. And as you are able, please stand and we will join together in our covenant. I need to work this with you here. Together. We welcome you into the life of this congregation, and we promise you our love and care. We covenant with you that so far as in us lies, we will walk with you in the bonds of love and friendship. We will strive to help you fulfill the promise of your life. In laughter and in tears, day in and day out, we will strive to do our best to listen to you with compassion and to speak with you in truth. Whatever may come to you, in the spirit of our faith, which tells us that love never fails, we promise never to close our hearts against you. With one another as our witness, may our love be steadfast, creative, and abounding. And we may stay standing because together we are going to sing a lullaby, Sleep My Child, and as we do, let's have a processional so you can get a good look at these kids. And you guys can start on the far aisle and then come around up the center aisle while we sing, Sleep My Child. Give them to them. In nearly forgetting Jacob, I am reminded of a colleague, another minister, who was dedicating his own son and asked his wife in front of the congregation, "What is the name you have chosen?" And his wife said, "Huh?" Not believing that her husband didn't know the name of his own son. Jacob, please forgive us. You are one of us.
Good morning again. I'm Sandy Bosnowski, a member of the lay pastoral care team. And we have an improvised candle stand here, and I'd appreciate it if you'd like to come up and share your joy and your concerns with the congregation. And I'll light one final candle for those joys and the sorrows and the concerns that we keep deep within our hearts. If you'd like to light a candle in private.
Remember Wendell Berry's words, to love anything good, no matter what the price, is a bargain. To love anything good, no matter what the price, is a bargain. Freely we have received, freely give. Our offering will now gratefully be received.
few years ago, I had the chance to meet Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. His face was so open, and he was so warm and kind. And he began by making us laugh, and then he could lead us into a time of meditation. And I really didn't know if 1,000 people in a big, open conference room would be able to sit and find stillness together, but somehow it happened. And the silence was rich and deep, and it held all of us. And I'm not even good at meditation at all. And I just felt it expand within me. And he talked that day about a lot of different things, but I'm just going to very briefly touch on 3 things I found most important from that day when he shared some of his insight. And I'm going to share 3 things in light of this being the time when we gather before a break from one another, and we remember and lift up what is most important to us. We acknowledge that again the wheel has turned, and we have learned so much from our year together, and we dream together over the summer of what might be in store for the fall when we get back together. As T.S. Eliot said, what we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. Thich Nhat Hanh teachings are deceptively simple. In practice, they are demanding but always life-giving. And here is his first teaching. We are here to awaken from our illusion of separateness. We're here to awaken from our illusion of separateness. He gave an example of a hand holding a nail, banging to get the nail into the wood and missing and hitting the thumb. And what the first thing the hand with the hammer does is drop the hammer and grab the thumb in tenderness and in mercy to care for the wounded part of the human body, rather than this hand that's just been hurt slapping and saying, "What were you thinking? Why were you doing that? I'm going to get you back." And I think that idea that we are all interconnected, that actually our natural way of being with one another is to reach for the wounded one and to care and to say, "Oh, my poor thumb, I care for you tenderly." Here at First Parish, we accept our responsibility to one another and to the larger world as well. We believe in the interdependent web of life and serve to enrich the quality of life not only of other people, but of our shared earth and all living things on it. Together we fight injustice, share what we have, and improve the system of laws, accountability, and vigilance so that all may live better and well. We are here to awaken from our illusion of separateness. His second teaching was this: when you love someone, the best thing you can offer is your presence. When you love someone, the best thing you can offer is your presence. And this is a true story about me and the youth at First Parish. Someone wasn't able to be in the play, and they said, "Oh, could you fill in and just dance this part of a Myrrh sister?" And I said, "Oh, sure, no problem." Well, it was really hard. It was embarrassing up to here, and they are all naturally great at it. And what happened was that as I was able to show my insecurity, my fear that I would just be a complete fool wearing a skimpy little, I just felt embarrassed. And the youth said, "No problem. We know what that's like. We'll walk with you." And Karen, who stood up today, who said she went through a whole lot this year with a real painful, she's probably spent 5 months on her back, literally, just waiting to heal, and surgery. I'm sure she will tell us about it. Real awful. And she's gotten her dance back, and her groove, and her spirit, and her spunk, and she taught me the dance. And I could not have done it without Karen and the other people, so thank you for that. And during the performance, there were a couple moments, it's so normal that this happens, a glitch happens, someone forgot a line or something, and back out there, someone would come out and say, "Oh, I forgot a line, I feel horrible," just the sinking feeling we've all had it of messing up and thinking, I let everyone down. And the cast would gather around someone and say, "It's okay, it's okay. The show goes on, get your, just start feeling good again, we're with you. This has happened to us too. And that's really what it is, to walk with somebody, to offer someone your presence, to be with them. And that's what love is, really, to be there with someone. When you love someone, the best thing you can offer is your presence. Thich Nhat Hanh said, if you are firmly grounded in the present moment, the past can be an object of inquiry, the object of your mindfulness and concentration. You can attain many insights by looking into the past, but you are still grounded in the present moment. As we head out into the summer, let us remember to pay that kind of attention to each other, to others around us, and to ourselves. When you love someone, the best thing you can do is offer your presence. The last teaching was the hardest for me to get my head around. It took a while thinking about it, and I hope it's one that can percolate for each of us. Our own life is the instrument with which we experiment with the truth. Our own life is the instrument with which we experiment with the truth. I think that we make decisions each day that change us and change others around us. It's like the butterfly that flaps its wings over here and changes an air pattern, and it changes something else in the universe, and it does affect somewhere else, someone else, something like that. We underestimate ourselves sometimes and know that we are more powerful than we know. And so an example of church, something that happened at church this year I wanted to just lift up, was that a number of people have said, our church could be even more welcoming than it is. Let's create an Access for All, with A-L-L, all capital, Access for All team. And that means that we have all sorts of ways that someone coming in here might find that this place acknowledges that there are so many ways that human beings can be. And a favorite moment for me was when Alex Linden, who also spoke at our candle stand this morning, told us about what it's like for him to have autism. And he shared just from the heart in ways that all of us were so grateful to hear, because everybody's life journey is different. And it was such a powerful testimony, and it was so humorous and so lovely that his name got sent to General Assembly, and there's an enormous worship service that is for the purpose of creating more and more understanding of truly creating a UU and a wider environment of access for all. And he is their keynote speaker. So thank you, Alex, and for being courageous. There he is. So, in the spirit of Gay Pride's theme this year being be yourself and change the world, that's the spirit that we have here at First Parish. And when you go home today, you are going to be invited to take with you a flower. Many people have brought flowers, and it's a chance to take home one as well. And you get to pick a flower that you find metaphorically might speak to you. And when you look at it, you can imagine that once that flower was so tiny, just a little germ of a seed, like you, and it gets to blossom and open and be as big and bold as possible. So we are here to awaken from our illusion of separateness. We are all part of the garden. When you love someone, the best thing you can offer is your presence, and we walk with each other through all the ways of truth and love. And our own life is the instrument with which we experiment with the truth, and we get to figure out what is the truth, update our truth ongoingly, use our conscience, our minds, and our hearts to act for what is true and right as a community and in the world. So this summer, may we do all of those things. May we do them well, and may we rejoin, it's in September, wiser and bolder and more courageous and more fiercely loving than we have ever been before. Amen.
I started out by saying that even God needs a break, and we've been talking about stopping for the summer. So far, there isn't much evidence that we're ever going to stop. Yes, today we observe a flower communion. It is a distinctively Unitarian Universalist ritual observed in almost all Unitarian Universalist churches in North America and in many other parts of the world as well. It has its origins in the mid-20th century when a Czechoslovakian minister named Norbert Čapek was the minister of the Unitarian Church in Prague, Czechoslovakia. Čapek went through many transitions in his life. He was born, I think, a Baptist. He studied in Europe. He studied in Chicago, and ultimately became a Unitarian and settled in Prague in the 1920s. And in the 1930s, as things worsened in Germany, many refugees left Germany and fled to Prague en route to places further west. And the Unitarian Church in Prague became the largest church, the largest Unitarian church in the world, and numbered among its members people whose background was Jewish, people whose background was Catholic, people from all backgrounds of belief and unbelief. And Čapek sought a ritual that could honor the diversity of that congregation. And he came upon the flower communion, where people would bring flowers from the meadows, from gardens, from wherever, and they would be distributed in church. And then at the conclusion, everyone was invited to take a flower home different from the one they had brought. And that was a way of honoring the diversity and the beauty of that congregation, and that is what we honor as well. Čapek spoke out against the Nazis. Čapek was arrested. Čapek went to the concentration camp at Dachau, and Čapek was murdered in 1944. We observe the flower communion for all the reasons I've just mentioned, but we also observe it because this is the beauty we have now, and there is great ugliness in the world, and to recognize, to stop and appreciate the beauty even in a single flower is our gift, a gift to us, a gift that we can cherish. And that is the spirit of the flower communion. So I encourage you after this service to please take a flower home with you. And now we are going to read responsively words written by Norbert Čapek. In the name of the providence which implants in the heart of the seed the future of the flower, and which implants in our hearts that unrest which will not be quenched till people live lovingly with each other, we bless these flowers. In the name of the highest, in which we move and take our being, and in the name of the deepest, which makes father and mother, sister and brother, lover and loner, who they are, we bless these flowers. In the name of the prophets and sages who sacrificed their lives to hasten the coming of the reign of mutual respect, we bless these flowers. Let us renew our resolution sincerely to be brothers and sisters, regardless of the barriers which estrange. May these flowers be for us the sign of the glory and variety to which we aspire, knowing the whole while that we are one family, the family of spirit and nature. In this holy resolve, may we be strengthened by the spirit of love, that we ourselves may bloom in splendor of a joyful life. Amen. Spring has now unwrapped the flowers. We will sing this to its more traditional tune. The words, however, may be found at number 63.
To be the always hopeful gardeners of the Spirit, who know that without darkness, nothing comes to birth. As without light, nothing flowers.
Is this on?
It's not like this every summer. This is supposed to be easier. Technology. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Red Stick. Okay. How are you doing there, boss? You go. You just go ahead. I'll catch you up. 60 seconds make a minute, an hour is 60 minutes long. The day has plenty hours in it, 24 in another's gone. Sun to sun, season to season, time is surely passing by. We're still here and that's the reason that we raise our glasses high. Here's to another year. One more time around the circle. Think of all the things we've done. A little ride to pass the time. The journey always ended and never yet begun. We've heard John and we've heard Megan,
Lauren's doing very well. Music keeps our toes a-tapping, makes our hearts feel very full. Christmas Eve and Music Sunday, Halloween and Tenebrae, RE Sunday, Little Mermaids, Fairy Beach needs 2 more days. Here's to another year. One more time around the circle, think of all the things we've done. A little ride to pass the time. Here's to the journey always ended and never yet begun.
I've seen some years come and go now in my time upon this earth. I've had time to watch the show now, time to ponder what it's worth. Is this day so very special, or is it how we set our sight? May all your days and years to come be just like this one, warm and bright. Here